Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're putting on our pundit hats and breaking down the official 2024/25 football rulebook. Whether you're a seasoned referee, a diehard fan screaming from the terraces, or just an analyst watching from the couch, understanding the laws of the game is really what separates the casual observer from a true football tactician. So we're going to analyze the absolute latest updates directly from the International Football Association Board, or IFAB, to get you completely match ready.
All right, here is our match day rundown. We're going to start with the foundation, move right up to the control room to talk about tech, analyze the penalty box for fouls, and then finish up with the brand new season updates. Kicking things off with Section 1, the basics. Because, before we get into all the high-tech drama of modern football, we really need to understand the playbook that governs every single pitch, from grassroots local games all the way to the global stage. The foundation of the beautiful game really starts with the match officials. The referee is the ultimate authority out there. And honestly, football is the greatest sport on earth precisely because the laws of the game are the exact same everywhere. Whether it's the final of the FIFA World Cup watched by over 1 billion people, or just kids playing in a remote village, this universal standard is a massive strength. It keeps the game fair, consistent, and instantly recognizable anywhere on the planet. Now, the IFAB has a core philosophy. Football absolutely must remain attractive and enjoyable for everyone involved. That's exactly why these laws constantly evolve. IFAB explicitly states that before they change a law, they have to be totally convinced it will benefit the game, regardless of age, gender, race, or background. It's not just about adding rules for the sake of it, right? Every single tweak is designed to keep the game flowing and eliminate those frustrating, time-wasting loopholes. That's why every change is meticulously trialed before it ever reaches our screens. So flipping open Law 1 and Law 3, there are some really strict mandates on the environment the players actually compete in. For example, the field surface, whether it's wholly natural, artificial, or a hybrid system, absolutely must be green. So yeah, no neon blue pitches anytime soon, no matter how much a sponsor might want one. And if it's an artificial pitch for an international match, it has to meet rigorous FIFA quality program standards. Plus, Law 3 is super clear on leadership. Every single team must have a captain on the field, and they are strictly required to wear an identifying armband so the ref always knows exactly who's leading the squad. Moving on to Section 2, let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, advanced tech and VAR. Let's see how the control room builds into the modern game. Seriously, the next time you're screaming at the TV over a controversial call, just try to remember the incredibly strict protocols these officials are following behind the scenes. The Video Assistant Referee, or VAR, is not just some free-for-all replay center. It's highly regulated to intervene only in specific match-altering situations. We're talking goals, offenses leading up to a goal, penalty decisions, direct red card incidents, and cases of mistaken identity. If a foul doesn't fall into one of those critical buckets, the VAR room stays completely silent. So here's the deal. Players waving those imaginary screens at the ref, they're completely wasting their time. And honestly, they're just risking a yellow card. The VAR protocol clearly states that the system automatically checks every single situation. Coaches and players absolutely do not need to request a review because the eyes in the sky are already looking at it. It's a completely proactive process. Okay, pay attention to this one because it's probably the most misunderstood rule in the game. Once play is stopped and then officially restarted, that VAR window, it slams shut. The referee cannot go back. There are only a few very extreme exceptions. Cases of mistaken identity, like carding the wrong player in a massive crowd, or uncovering a potential severe sending-off offense, like violent conduct, biting, or spitting. Other than that, once the ball rolls, the previous play is cemented in history, no matter what the slow-motion replay shows. Now, what's really interesting is how Law 1 has updated goal line technology for the 24-25 season. We all know the visual of the referee's watch vibrating when the ball barely crosses the line. But now, that immediate, automatic confirmation, which literally has to happen within 1 second, can also be beamed directly into the referee's earpiece or headset. It's a small but vital upgrade that ensures absolutely zero delay during those chaotic goalmouth scrambles. All right, Section 3. Let's step out of the tech booth and right into the penalty box to talk about those high-stakes moments, fouls and penalties. First up, Law 11, which governs the infamous offside trap. In basic terms, you're penalized if you're closer to the opponent's goal line than both the ball and the second-last opponent when the ball is played to you. It's the mechanism that keeps the game compressed and highly tactical, stopping attackers from just goal hanging by the keeper for 90 minutes.
Understanding this one rule allows you to really appreciate the high defensive lines and coordinated movements that elite managers spend countless hours perfecting.
But when the whistle actually blows for a foul under Law 12, well, that's when things can get pretty complicated. For this season, the referee has some fascinating new nuances to consider, especially when it comes to handballs in the penalty area, which is historically one of the most hotly debated actions on the entire pitch. And that brings us to a massive clarification for the 2024/25 season regarding DOGSO. That's the denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. In the past, giving away a penalty and getting a red card for an accidental handball felt incredibly harsh, like double jeopardy. The update clarifies that if a player non-deliberately handles the ball while genuinely trying to play fairly and this concedes a penalty kick, they only get a yellow card. However, a deliberate, cynical handball to stop a goal, that remains a straight red card. Intent is absolutely everything here. Speaking of penalties, there's a brilliant change to Law 14 regarding player encroachment. Previously, any player stepping into the box early could trigger a retake. But let's be honest, that happens on almost every single penalty. Now, IFAB states that players creeping into the box early will only be penalized if they actually impact the outcome of the play, like interfering with the goalkeeper or scoring directly from a rebound. If the ball goes in cleanly, a slight early step isn't going to nullify a perfectly good goal anymore. Finally, Section 4, let's break down the rest of the brand new 2024-2025 law changes that will completely alter how teams manage their squads and set pieces. This first one is a massive, absolutely crucial leap forward for player safety. The IFAB has now made the additional permanent concussion substitutions protocol available to competitions globally. If a player has an actual or even just a suspected concussion, they are taken off immediately and take no further part in the match. Crucially, this does not count against the team's normal allocation of subs. It allows managers to confidently prioritize a player's head health without sacrificing their tactical plans for the rest of the game. You'll definitely want to pay close attention the next time your star striker steps up to the penalty mark because the physical ball placement rules have been tightened up. It's all about eliminating those incredibly annoying, time-wasting pre-kick arguments we see week in and week out. Because, let's face it, after 80 minutes of players sliding around in the rain, that penalty mark is rarely a perfect, pristine spot. This update stops the disputes. The new law clearly states that the ball must be stationary, with part of the ball touching or overhanging the absolute dead center of the mark. It's the exact same philosophy they use for corner kicks overhanging the corner arc. It's simple, it's clear, and it's way easier for the referee to enforce. For you eagle-eyed fans out there, here are some rapid-fire Law 4 changes on equipment. IFAB has clarified that players are now entirely responsible for the size and suitability of their own shin guards, which takes the onus completely off the referee to measure them before a match. We also see that gloves and goalkeeper tracksuit bottoms have been neatly reorganized into the other equipment category instead of compulsory, effectively just cleaning up the rulebook's language. Now for grassroots and specific competitions that use sin bins or temporary dismissals, the guidelines have been strictly tightened. A temporarily dismissed player can now only return to the field during a stoppage in play, not while the ball is live. This just makes sense to maintain the natural flow of the game. Also, the rather complex System B has been vastly simplified. If a player commits any two cautionable offenses in the same match, and remember, a cautionable offense is just a yellow card, it results in a permanent red card. Simple, clear, and strict. So there you have it. By mastering these IFAB regulations, from the intense environment of the VAR control room to the absolute precision required on the penalty spot, you've completely leveled up your understanding of the sport. You can now see the game exactly how the match officials see it, moving way past those emotional reactions and looking straight at the tactical and legal reality of the pitch. So next time a penalty is called, will you be checking that ball placement? When a player handles the ball, are you going to analyze their intent before yelling for a red card? Knowing exactly how the referees are instructed to view the game, will you ever be able to watch a controversial call the same way again? Keep this playbook in mind for the weekend kickoff and enjoy the beautiful game.